when I am considering giving charitably, I need to consider, A, that I need to pay for it, not somebody else, and that I need to be motivated by an objectively higher value than the value of the thing I'm giving up. This is my working theory. There are two parts to reconciling charity or grace to justice. So I'm setting up the conflict here, and then I want to give the resolution. So the conflict is grace, which in God is sort of equivalent to what we want to call charity, seems to contradict justice in that it's giving what is not deserved.
Yeah, we can definitely agree it seems to contradict justice.
Yes, and so I'm going to say that there's two ways in which, or two constraints or restrictions on grace or charity that keep it from contradicting justice. And those two are going to be, one, it needs to be in line with moral righteousness. And what I mean there is it needs to be motivated by a higher value than the particular justice at hand. So with God, that would be his motivation for his glory in redeeming a people. If he forgave us for no good reason at all, or just on a lark, just on a whim, that would still be unjust. And basically what this is it's Rand's principle of not sacrificing a higher value to a lesser value. So if he's going to give up a very high value, which is demonstrating his glory or vindicating his glory by punishing us eternally in hell, that's a very high value to God. If he's going to give that up, it's got to be for the sake of a higher value, namely displaying his glory through redeeming a people.
I like that.
So that's one aspect. But say he did it for that motivation. He forgave us for that motivation of seeking a higher value. But he did it without paying for it. He did it by just sweeping sin under the rug and never sending a substitute. He would still be unjust.
Yeah.
So the second condition or restriction on charity or grace is that the injustice, the sort of horizontal injustice, if you will, needs to be paid for still by the person committing the grace or the charity. And that's what God did in sending Christ. He paid for it. He fulfilled the demands of justice himself instead of making the other person, the other party, fulfill the demands of justice. He fulfilled them to himself, so that's one aspect. And the other aspect is he did it for the sake of an objectively higher value.
Yeah, I like that. So you've explained why he wanted to make the purchase, and you've explained that he did make the purchase.
Yes. So, and if we view those as constraints on grace or charity to keep it in line with justice or to keep it from contradicting justice, then when we bring that over into the human realm and we talk about charity, I think those same restrictions would apply. So when I am considering giving charitably, I need to consider, A, that I need to pay for it, not somebody else, and that I need to be motivated by an objectively higher value than the value of the thing I'm giving up, than the value of the payment.
And that would be justice. Okay, I've never heard this before. It's really good.
Thank you. I mean, there's still going to be some confusion in terms of really finally demarcating the difference between moral justice and sort of claimant or transactional justice, because in the human realm, when we're doing charity, and say we're using those two restrictions, we're still going to say that there's a sense in which it's unjust for me not to engage in that right type of charity. The justice or the injustice isn't against the person who I didn't help. The injustice is either against myself as a moral agent or against God. And so perhaps we could say that moral justice pertains to God having a claim on us. So God is the claimant, saying he deserves the glory that he would get from you engaging in charitable acts.
Yes.
And so when you don't engage in charity as you ought to, you are committing an injustice against God, but not an injustice against the person whom you failed to act charitably towards.